Oh, feel bollocks, man.
As we travel with you far away, through the triumph and struggle we're there, side by side.
What's happening, Celtic family? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you very much to everybody that subscribed. Seemingly hitting 100 subscribers is hard enough to do. We've hit over 300 in a week. Absolutely unbelievable. But if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom. It's free to do so, and it helps me get this channel monetized. And people tell you it helps promote the channel, it helps grow the channel if you keep subscribing. Yep, it does, because it starts to pay people and content creators like myself, where we can go and start making better content. I know I'm late to the party. I get that the game was yesterday, but I, like some of the players, I'm nursing this virus that's going about, whatever it is. And after watching that performance yesterday, it was the last thing that I wanted to do was come on here and give my review on the game. I've also already tried to do this 3 or 4 times, so this time, if my voice starts to go, I'm going to keep going with it, because I'm not going to keep stopping and starting. It's doing my head in, so I'm just going to keep going. But let's talk about the game yesterday, and let's start with not making up any excuses, because as soon as we start making up excuses, which I've been seeing in social media, that's when we start sounding like them. Listen, the performance just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. But let's be honest, over the last few weeks, since the middle of October, I've said this before, whether you follow me on TikTok or wherever you've seen me before, I've said before, we started off really, really well. We started the season off great. We were firing on all cylinders. We were playing 90 minutes of great football. To then it started to get to sort of middle of October, and you started to notice that we were maybe a 45-minute team. We would either not play particularly well. It always seemed to be the sort of first half. We wouldn't play particularly well, and then the second half we would get a rocket up our arse, and we'd come out and we were like a different team. Now we've seen that, and I've seen that for weeks now. And then it's just been building up. And then even last week in the cup final, I'm not going to keep going on about the cup final, but that just wasn't a great Celtic performance. Let's be honest, it really, really wasn't. So did we win? Yes, so Rangers still couldn't beat a bad performing Celtic team, but it just wasn't the performance we were looking for in a cup final. So that leads on to yesterday against Dundee United. Now, as I said, we can make all the excuses we want for the bad weather. It is what it is, and it definitely doesn't help. But the game was there to be won. We had chances to win that game. There was a few standout chances. Obviously, when the ball came in to add media, it was an absolute perfect first-time pass into Kyogo. And then when I thought at the time he had tried to hit it and he'd actually clipped his back heel. When I look back at it, I might be wrong. Maybe he's hit the grass. I don't know if he's hit the ground or what he's done, but it looks like he's kicked his own back heel. And it was just a perfect time as well in the game. I think we were probably at the sort of 80th, 75th or 80th minute, because it never looked like Dundee United were going to score, but it also never looked like Celtic were going to score. So it would have been the perfect time to get a goal. And to be honest with you, if we had got that goal, it probably would have been quite hard done by for Dundee United, because both teams were just very lacklustre. It was just one of these kind of games, and dare I say it, it was pretty boring. Although Celtic had a lot of the possession, so it's hard to try and say that Celtic didn't play well, because they kept a lot of the ball, but we keep a lot of the ball anyway. But we're not clinical enough in front of goal, and you're hoping that the likes of your strikers like Kyogo are there for that was a striker's wet dream. That was a striker's wet dream, the way that ball came in, and all he had to do was connect with it. So if he connected with that, that was a goal. But unfortunately, he didn't. And Kyogo, it seems to be Kyogo's sort of story all season. Now, I know we all love Kyogo, every single one of us. It's hard not to love Kyogo. But this season, he has underperformed. It's as simple as that. And I would be playing Adamida in front of him. I still don't think Adamida has hit the heights that maybe he did when he came in as a loan deal last year. But I also believe that to be that maybe he's not getting the game time that he deserves, because as far as I'm concerned, he could be doing a better job than what Kyogo's doing for us now. As I said, we all love Kyogo, so it's very hard to drop Kyogo, but we have to think about and be realistic about just the way that he's playing right now. Also, someone else who's not playing that great, and again, I know that this is going to sort of be controversial to some people, but I have to just be honest and open and say it how I see it. That doesn't mean that it's right, but it's just what I see is Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate, to me, has underperformed all season. I don't know what it is with Rio. Sometimes I think he looks really happy at the football club, and other times I feel like he doesn't even want to be there. I don't know if that's maybe just the way that it looks like now, because he's not hitting that form that we all know Rio Hatate can hit. We all know how good Rio is. We all know what he's like. And even saying that, even against Dundee United yesterday, although I don't think he's played well, and I don't think he's played well all season, he shows these wee glimmers of absolute brilliance. And nobody turns a man like Rio Hatate turns him. But for me, he's just underperformed the whole season and so far. And I don't know why Bernardo is not starting in front of him, because it feels like Bernardo, for me, wants that jersey more than he wants it right now. And I would be playing Bernardo in front of Rio Hatate, and that, again, is just my view on it. But listen, there's not really that much to say about the game in general. It just didn't look like either team. There was not one part of that game from start to finish I thought that Celtic could really go on and win the game. So I have to say a 0-0 draw is probably about right, to be honest with you. I just didn't see where Celtic were going to score, and I was sat there with my father yesterday and I said to him, listen, I don't know where this goal's coming from. And he agreed. He says, I don't know, it's just going to be one of those games, I think. But then when it came in for Kyogo, you think, maybe we'll nick it here. And then even Arne Engels, when he sort of toe poked it, it was a great save, don't get me wrong, great save. But you were just looking for that little bit of luck yesterday. It was just a bit of luck we were looking for to try and get the win. But listen, unfortunately, it didn't happen. But that's it. That's what happens. It's football, and we're not going to win everything. And we're sitting right now. We've not lost the game. We've had a couple of draws. So it's not the end of the world, and we're still sitting 9 points clear of second. So this has been a very successful start to the season. And sometimes you're going to get that. Sometimes you're going to play bad. And nothing gives us the right to go in there and absolutely blow teams apart. It just doesn't happen like that. It's been a busy few months for us. So, I mean, listen, the team are only human, and they're going to have times where they're on top and times where it peaks off a bit, and that's just part of it. But, you know, we can't use any excuse for it. We just have to admit it just wasn't our day. We underperformed, and we move on to the next game. Listen, I don't think any of us can complain about the season so far. We've got our first cup in the trophy room. We're sitting 9 points ahead of that lot, and we're doing pretty well in Europe. So I don't think any of us can complain. Yeah, we've had a couple of draws in the league, but that happens. Nothing gives us the right to go in there and storm past teams. It just doesn't. But looking on social media, some people need to just calm down a wee bit. I'd seen somebody put a post up saying that Brendan's out of ideas, he needs to go. That got shot down, and rightly so. I think that person's just been a bit upset about the way that we played. But listen, some of us are maybe a wee bit too young. I'm not. I was born in the 80s and grew up through the 90s where Rangers won pretty much everything and won a lot. But a lot of us are maybe a wee bit younger, where we just get used to seeing Celtic dominate all the time. As I said, not much to report on in the game. It is what it is. We come away from Tannadice with a draw, and we look forward to the game against Motherwell in Boxing Day and take on St Johnstone and then head to Ibrox in the second. But let me know what your thoughts are of the game in the comment section below. Also, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about Rio Hatate and Kyogo right at this point in time. Do you think that they should be starting, or do you think it's time to maybe let Adamida and Bernardo start from now on? Let me know. I'm interested to see what you're thinking in the comment section. Apart from that, stay safe out there. Hail, hail, Celtic family. And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.